Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Sandy Gabe. Let's see if we have a slide here. So I'm Sandy Gabe, and I'm the AAUW California president, and I appreciate your being here tonight. I know that you have many other things to do. And I'm going to introduce Karen in a moment. I wanted to share with you that I am also your technical resource for this adventure that we're going through, which is why I'm here tonight. I'm going to share with you some things that we put together to help you with what we're asking you to do, which is to make a video. So Karen, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, we're so glad that you're one of our scholars this year, and we're very happy to have you studying here in California. We're very proud of our state and our scholars. At the moment, we think that we have a total of 34 scholars who will be working with us this fall. And we've done this a lot of different times, but we have decided that the most efficient way to do this for each of you and for our volunteer staff is to have you help learn about the videos. And Sandy is definitely our guru on this. I'm your contact for the AAUW fund and your scholarships. The email is on there, the AAUW fund, and we'll take it away.
Okay, thanks, Karen. So what we wanted to do tonight, and Karen alluded to this, in the past we've done multiple events and we had practice sessions, and we ended up doing these like 4 sessions in a year. And the branches really want to know about you. They want to know what your project is about. They want to see you in action, and they want to get excited about you. And the branches, we have 116 or so in California. And then groupings, which are called interbranch councils, which is a grouping of maybe 5 or 6 branches in a similar area. They like to bring a fellow or a grant recipient in, talk about their project, because it helps them get people to donate to fund so that we can keep this going. So one of the things that we're going to ask you to do is to attend one branch or IBC meeting, either in person or virtually, to keep that excitement going. And so we're putting this series of videos together so that the branches can very early on in the process see about you and don't have to wait for several events to happen before they can see the great work that you're doing. So what we're going to talk about tonight is creating your video, participating in one of those branch meetings, and then next steps and some resources that we put together for you. I am only using one screen tonight, so I can't see the whole film strip of everybody. So if you want me to pause and you want to ask a question, if you can use your digital hand, because I won't see your real hand. So if you can do that, that would be really helpful. And then you'll pop up to the top of my list, and then I'll be able to stop and answer any questions. So what we're looking for is a short video, 5 to 8 minutes, which sounds long, but when we've done these in the past, people have really kind of struggled to pack in all the great work that you've done in 5 to 8 minutes. So we recognize that for some of you, it's going to be easy. For some of you, it's going to be a challenge to distill down what you're doing in that short amount of time. Most people do a presentation with it. So they've got some slides that they talk to. You don't have to do that, but it does help focus the audience on the content of your presentation. And we're suggesting the easiest way to do this is to just do it by Zoom, like we're doing tonight. I'm sharing my screen, so that's my presentation in the background. And when I do the video, when I download the recording, I'm going to do speaker view, and all you're going to see is the person who's actively talking in the upper right-hand corner. You can do Zoom to yourself. So this is how I practice. I set up a Zoom session. I run my video or my presentation with me in the corner, and sometimes I record it. You don't have to have anybody on the other end. If you prefer to talk to somebody, you know, to see them there, that's also another way that you can do it. If you don't have a Zoom account, they're free. You can do 45 minutes. So you should be able to do a recording that way. So in order to do that, you're going to launch a Zoom meeting, and you're going to share your screen, start the recording, do your presentation, and then stop it and download the recording. When you close your meeting, it'll give you a little pop-up and tell you where the recording is. And then you can upload it to this Google Drive. And I'm going to actually go there so you can see what it looks like. There's nothing there because we haven't received any yet, but you should all have access to this folder. And I would just check, or if you use a different email address than you gave us, like you have a Gmail address, but we got your school address, you might be prompted to request access, and just fill that out and we'll grant that. But if I were going to upload my file, I'm going to open up a window. I'm going to open up my download folder here. And let's say that this is a video. Any one of these is a video. Okay. All I do is grab it and I drag it in. So pretend that this is a video, drag it in. The only thing I request is that you make sure your name is on it, because I don't know your faces yet. So it's helpful, and you can right click and you can rename it and just put your name in there so we can get the right person with the right video and we can do the right introductions. So that's as easy as it is to do the recording. I'm going to take this out of here. I don't need that in here. Let's say that you want to edit your video. Zoom will let you chop off the beginning and the end just as part of the Zoom recording piece. But you can also go into Canva and add special effects, or, you know, chop it off at the beginning or the end. And I included a link to a Canva tutorial on doing just that. You don't have to do anything special or fancy. It's completely up to you. We will take your video and we'll put an entry screen on it with your name and stuff, and then your video, and then the next person's, and then the video. And we can also adjust it if it looks like we've got a lot of time at the beginning or the end. I can also edit that down. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Your job is to just make a really great video that's going to inspire people and pop it in here. We do like to include your presentation. So I'll get to you in just a second, Carla. We do like to include your presentation. So you can do the same thing. You can take your presentation and upload it to, it's a different folder. This folder is for just the presentations.
For all of our scholars, shall I call you back?
Okay, Karen, you're live.
Sorry.
That's okay. Some of you have presentations you're just going to reuse. That's fine. If you don't have a presentation, you can use this PowerPoint that we sent to you. This is what it looks like here, but I did send it to you via email, I believe. And it's in the trash right now. So I guess I have to, before I'll send you this document, but I guess I have to clean up those links because we updated them. So you're going to put it in a Google Drive, your video, you're going to put your presentation in a Google Drive, and then we'll take responsibility for smushing it together. So Carla, you had a question, your hand went away. Do you have a question?
I think you might have answered it.
Okay.
But just to clarify, you you are going to share this presentation,
Yeah, we'll
right?
share all the
Okay.
links with you. Yeah.
Okay, that way, because I was trying to take notes of everything, but it's helpful if you send it. The second
Yeah.
question, again, I think you might have mentioned it, where you said that you could use a presentation that you already have. I just recently presented on my research, but it focuses on one of the chapters of my presentation, which I don't know if that, I mean, I could start off doing like an overview of my dissertation and then zoom in on one of the chapters. Would that work, or do you want a more of an overview
I think,
video?
yeah, I think you don't have to do, I think you want to do a little bit of overview. You can focus on one area of your research. You just want your presentation to match what you're talking about. So if you need to add a couple of slides that do the overview, you can do that. It's really, really up to you. And there are some examples on our website, which I do think you got in the email that we sent to you. So let's see. There, and I will send you all of these links so you don't have to take them down. But on our website, we have last year's fund events, and you can see the presentations that were done there. So you can just play one of these. They play on YouTube. You could just run through, a couple of them and see how they ran. There are also two that Karen's identified that were particularly good examples that you can go to directly. So if you go here, it's going to take you directly to Estelle's.
Is a STEM project.
Okay. So it's going to take you directly to that presentation on YouTube. Does that answer your question, Carla? Okay. All right.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. For those of you who may not use Zoom very much, your recording is going to come up in a window after you close your session, and you can go to that folder and then just drag it in, and we can chop off the beginning and the end if we need to. If you have a Zoom account, your recordings are under recordings. And for your recording, I left a couple in here so that you could see. This one, I just will bring this up. You have a couple of options when you get here. Typically, we do the shared screen with speaker view. And just hit this to download it, this little download thing. You don't, shared screen with the gallery view in this case would show everybody who is participating in the meeting tonight, but we just want the speaker view. And we don't need audio only. So all you want to do is go to the shared screen with speaker view and hit the download here. All right. Let's see. Karen, do you want to talk about the participating in a branch meeting? The kind of detail around that?
Yes. And keep in mind that these is 5 to 8 minutes. Is like, isn't that nice? We're summarizing your academic life's work here. The branch, the AAUW members that view these, what it is just give them a taste, just a preview of it. And our members are very, very serious about donating to the AAUW fund. And this, I'd like to kind of say, what we're doing is helping to pay it forward. Many of you are here because of some of these other events, and people donated, nicely. And so you have your scholarship, your fellowship, out of these. So the folks, what this does is allow them, if they're looking for an in-person program, they might be, last year we had, I think, 4 that were studying in Berkeley, and there were some branches that were in that vicinity. So they were interested in location. Sometimes a branch is interested in topic, if it's diversity, equity, inclusion, if it's some other type of program. Sometimes they want something that's international. And so they're either looking for the topic or they're looking for the location. And we're in, so any rate, in person or in Zoom, they do have to request. We ask them not to contact you, and we assist in that by not giving them your contact information. All of this should be done, centrally through my office here. And so eventually you, when you're selected and you agree to do the fuller presentation, usually it's about 20 to 30 minutes to do the whole thing. You get an honorarium of $100 in this, and if the meeting is in person, the mileage rate just got changed to 65.5 cents. If it involves a meal, like if they've invited you to a luncheon, they cover all of that. It's rare to have somebody need to spend the night, as we're looking at your schedule. And so basically that's it. The inter-branch councils, I have one that's the San Diego area. We have 7 branches in that, and some of the inter-branch councils will probably want to do a Zoom with someone from that. And in my group, you could have all 7 wanting to do some. And at any rate, we try to watch your time and keep it moving smoothly. We've asked that these presentations be between November and the end of April. Most of you have exams or your dissertation, something due later in May. So we ask them to not ask for any during that time.
Looks like we have a couple of questions, Karen.
Questions on this part, yeah.
Yeah, Maren, do you want to go? You can unmute and.
Yeah, thank you. I had 2 questions. One is for the presentation we're going to the presentation we're doing over Zoom. Is there any guidelines as to how you want us to structure maybe the slides, or do we decide that on our own? And then my second question is for the branch meeting. We're going to be presenting 20 to 30 minutes. So is this going to be an in-depth presentation of what we already did on Zoom, or do you want us to do a second set of slides or a second set of presentation for the branch meeting?
It's kind of a combination on here. What you're just doing for this Zoom is, as I say, it's sort of like the teaser at the movie. Here's the preview of this to see if you want to attend. And I just explained how the branches and the members tend to use these, and they are well used. And we have encouraged the branches to perhaps have watch parties where somebody has a bigger screen TV, or wherever they're holding their meetings. Sometimes they have a place rented, they hold their meetings. I said, so they may show some of these up on the screen. They may select a few, or they may select all. So when you do the fuller presentation, it can certainly be longer, but we're trying to respect your time. Is that 20 to 30 minutes, and that might or might not include questions. In other words, you may have some more time for questions. And the people running the particular meeting, they're seasoned at this too, and they're pretty good about not letting it get out of hand here. So since your 5 to 8 minutes might have, I'm going to say 6, 8, 10, it's unlimited number of slides, you're giving a fuller presentation. Yes, you may put more slides in that.
Thanks, Karen. Before I move over to Carla, there were a couple of questions in the chat. Yes, you will get a copy of this presentation and the links so that you can find them and know where to send the information. You can use your own slides. You do not have to use our template. We just provide a template for you just in case some people haven't done a presentation for their project. So you can use one. You can also start from scratch. So Carla, I think Carla had a question.
Yes, I just want to make sure Miran asked the first question. I don't know if that was answered, her first question before. I want to see if she asked if there was specific guidelines. I don't think that question was answered.
It's really up to you what your slides look like. So your slides should support your 20 to 30 minute presentation or your 5 to 8 minute presentation. So it's really up to you. And if you go look at any of them that are on our website, they're completely different based on the topic. So we had somebody who was doing fish that breed in their mouths last year. And so we had a whole bunch of videos of, fish and guppies and stuff like that. And then we had other people who were doing social work kinds of things, and they had a very different presentation. So it really should just fit your style. We're not trying to change or put you into a box. It's your own box. So whatever works for you is just fine. And hopefully you've already got some of this together because you've been presenting along the way. So hopefully you can reuse something that you have.
Yeah, so now I'm going to move on to my questions.
Okay.
So the first question I had was regarding the honorarium. Is the amount the same whether you go in person or via Zoom, or you attend via Zoom?
It's the same.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question that I have, you mentioned that in the past there were like 4 students from Berkeley. I was wondering, how do we find out if there are other people in our region? For example, I'm in San Diego right now, but my school is UCLA. So I would love to know if there's anybody in San Diego or just in general, Southern California. And, just we could connect, or, so how would that happen if possible?
So I think there are 2 ways that that's going to happen. One is we're going to post your information on the website, and it will say where you're from and what your topic is and in your bio. But we don't want to put your email address out there because the branches will contact you directly. And, if you have 10 branches, everybody wants your presentation. Karen is offering to coordinate that so that she can make sure that one branch, one person. I think, Karen, last year we forwarded out the list of everybody to the entire group. We could do that again this year if that's helpful.
Yeah, I think that is helpful. It is not required of you. But we had some of the groups last year that bonded so well, they were meeting online and talking with each other. It's like, oh, I like that topic. Or like you say, you're in the same vicinity, maybe the same school. You might want to connect, but you don't have to. And so now that's not something that we're going to want to post on our website because we don't want other people to have your contact information. So should Sandy send this out to you, keep in mind it's confidential. You cannot keep sending this on to other people. It's
for your use. Yeah. Yep. So I put that down on the list of things to do after this meeting, Karen. Okay. Any other questions at this point in time? All right. So I just wanted to review next steps, which are kind of, oops, sorry. I'm not at my regular computer today, and I usually have 2 screens, and I'm touching things I shouldn't be. So we did ask you to confirm your email address with Karen. What we have found is that some of you will get a student email and you'd rather us use that than your personal one. So if you have any changes, please let us know. And that goes to Karen at aauwfund@aauw-ca.org. If you haven't sent a headshot, please also send that to that same email address. When we post the information, we include your headshot, and that helps people who saw you and can't remember, they knew that they were really excited, but they don't necessarily remember your topic statement or whatever. So that helps them find you. You're going to submit your video to this Google folder. You're going to submit your presentation to this Google folder. And then you're going to work with the scheduler at the point where we open it up for people to request. We have some requests that are just waiting. I think Karen is trying to hold off.
Yeah, I think we already have a half a dozen. And here's some people, I want a speaker on X date. Well,
Yeah.
we do not select the speakers. We don't want to fall into that trap, is that they've got to pick their own speaker rather than why'd you send that person on that topic. So we'll do that. I did want to come back though a moment to the slides and like last season's videos on there. Even though we've selected a couple of them for you, it might be worth your while if you're wanting to see, like, here's a lot of different ways to do slides. Or you might want to see, you might find somebody on a similar topic to what you have, and you may want to look at them harder. So feel free to, to browse. They're not all created equal. We had like 39, I think we ended up with. And, some were top-notch presenters and some were beginners. And speaking as a beginner, I can really appreciate that. So, if you don't see what you're looking for, and you don't have to like listen to the whole presentation, but I would encourage you, if you're wanting to see what the slides could look like in your presentation, just look at a few.
Looks like Hope has a question.
I think you already answered this, Karen, but I was just confirming that number 4 on the next steps list was the presentation for the branch meeting, not the presentation or slides you may have used in your video.
No, this is for your 5 to 8 minute.
Oh, that's the 5 to 8 minute number 4. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to match what you do in your commercial.
Thank you.
This is all related to just the short takes. The longer takes, we may have somebody actually watching it with you, but we don't need to see those ahead. We're welcome to look at. Very good. Clear that up.
I'm going to fix that right now. Okay. Maren has a question.
I was gonna ask, when do we find out when the meeting is? You said it's going to be somewhere between November to April. But when do we find out when the exact dates are?
So Karen, when somebody schedules, I think the question is, we don't really know. The branches put in their request. After they watch the video, they'll put in their request of which fellow or grantee they would like to come to their branch. No, we don't require that they have a presentation, so we're kind of at the whim of the branch. So as soon as we hear, then Karen would get in touch with you and say, are you available on this date? If you're not available on that date, then she'll be looking for another speaker.
Right. We have a form, an online form that is just for AAUW California fund. So if people want to schedule a speaker, there's a form that they work with on here. And we always ask for, a first and a second choice. Sometimes it takes a little more than that, to find somebody. And are they flexible on their dates? Sandy's and my goal on this is to meet a deadline of November 1st to have all these videos done and ready and vetted to be online. If we beat that, we'll go sooner, but that's our goal, is November 1st.
And did I neglect to put out the time frame on this presentation? I think I put it in the email, but I don't think I put it on here. Oh, I did. October 17th is when your presentations are due. So it was in the email and it's hidden up here.
Yeah.
There is a question from Madeline. where do we find additional examples of videos? They're on our website, and again, we'll give you the link, but if you just go to AAUW California, I'll show you how to get there the public way.
Yeah. And then there's a tab that says AAUW Fund.
Up here.
Yep.
And then you can actually look at presentations from many years. So there's 2022, there's 2021, 2020, but this is last year's event. And this will give you an example of what it looks like. So eventually we'll have the presentations up here. They won't be there now. But below that, we put in your picture, your last name, your first name, and your bio, and the fund. And I think we were, Karen asked that we'd also put location in this year so that people know what school you're from. So this is what we did last year. But if you go to any one of these videos, let's make sure it doesn't, you can watch it from the beginning, and there are a number of speakers. So on this video that day, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We had really 10 presenters in this one video. So you can look through any of them and see which one interests you. Okay, so Carla, before Karen and I answer your question, it looks like Maren maybe has another question.
Yeah, I just had a follow-up for my previous question, which I completely forgot. Let me just go back to you.
It's okay.
Apologize.
It's okay. It'll come to you. You can just raise your hand again when it comes back to you. All right, I think we have one more slide on resources. So here's some resources. If you haven't done Zoom, here's a Zoom meeting guide. Zoom is fantastic for all their videos. You can find how to do anything on there. So if you have a question, you can go there. Here's the Canva tutorial. Here is where you can find the videos and these two specific ones. And then here is the presentation, presentation template will also be here for you. So before I address Carla's question, which unfortunately Karen can't see, so I'll read it to you. Are there any other questions about how to do this, what you need to do, when you need to do it by?
Yeah, I just remembered my question. I'm sorry. Karen, I think you said that after we upload our 5 to 8 minute video, the branch offices are going to see it, and some people are going to be requested to attend a meeting. Does that mean some of us will not be attending meetings, or should we all be preparing for that?
Well, that's a great question. We make it a point to, to spread this around when we can. But sometimes you end up with, a hot topic, and DEI is still a hot topic, although diversity, equity, inclusion, although there's been so much on that from the state in the past few years, there may be a new hot topic. And so, anyway, we just try to spread it around. We don't want to leave anybody out. That once in a while, with the number that we have somebody, maybe a couple of people that have classes. Well, that was before the events. Some people couldn't make the deadlines last year because they had classes. Well, here, if it's on Zoom, that really shouldn't matter. Some of these, though, I would say many of the branches have their meetings on a Saturday, a few on a Sunday, but most on a Saturday morning. And there's only so many Saturday mornings out there. So I know I'm beating around the bush here a little bit, but
Let
it's not
let me get you out of this, Karen. So some of your topics are going to be very interesting to people, and there be maybe more than one branch that's interested. Some of your topics or your schedule doesn't allow availability when somebody wants you. What we ask is that you be prepared to do one branch event, but we can't really control whether the branches ask for you in particular and if you are available on a date when they want you. So that's a long way of saying, yes, please be available for one, and don't be disappointed if the timing doesn't work out. It doesn't have any reflection on you. Does that help, Maren?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions about, Shanice?
Yes, good afternoon. My question is just general. Does the PowerPoint have to be made through Canva, or could it be made through another PowerPoint
The
resource?
PowerPoint, the template that I sent you is a PowerPoint template.
Oh, that's the one that we specifically use. Okay,
Yeah, you can
got
use
it.
one or you can use your own. Either way.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Canva was just a tool that we suggested if you want to do any updates to your video or you want to do something fancy to your video. That's an easy tool to use.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'm going to stop sharing, and then Karen, the question was, if there's time at the end, Carla would like to know more about you and me, where we're from, and how do we get involved in AAUW?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
We've never been asked that before.
I'll start, since I had the benefit of seeing the question and you didn't, so I'll give you a minute or two to think up your answer. So I got involved in AAUW about 10 years ago when I moved up to Mariposa from the Bay Area. Mariposa is just outside of Yosemite. And I moved with my husband, and we're kind of in a semi-retirement stage. So our kids didn't come with us. And going to a new city without working there or having kids there makes finding people to connect with a little bit challenging. You know, you're kind of left walking down the grocery aisle saying, hi, I'm new in town. You want to be my friend? So I met somebody at an event, and she said, you have to join AAUW and you have to join Jazzercise in order to get to know the community. And so I I participated in AAUW at the local branch level in Mariposa and have held several positions there. I love our local community. We're very strong supporters of our programs, Tech Trek, where we send girls who are going between 7th and 8th grade to a STEM camp at a local university for a week in the summer. Our Speech Trek program gives young high school students, as we do allow both boys and girls to participate in this, the opportunity to share their oratory skills on a topic that is chosen by AAUW. They create a 5 to 6 minute speech, and then they compete at the branch level, and then they compete at the state level. And then we also have GovTrek, which is a new program this year, which is encouraging young women in high school to consider public office and to either run for or get engaged in public office, and that's called GovTrek. And then once I got engaged at the branch level, I guess I'm kind of a joiner, and somebody invited me to a state meeting and somebody asked me to do something and my hand went up and I said, yeah, okay. And I've been volunteering at the state level for about the last 7 years. And this is my second and final year as the state president. So Karen, did I give you enough time to get your story together?
Well, it's the same story. Let's see if I can move this. There. No, not that one. The sun went down. Yeah, I'm Karen Vanderwerken, and I spent quite a few years in the North Central Texas area. I was originally from Indiana. I belonged to AAUW there before moving later to Texas. After my family got raised, then I became an executive director of a bank training nonprofit, and I did 24 years as that. And along the way, continued with AUW, many for the same reasons that Sandy mentioned. It's a way to make local friends, but it's more important. You feel like you are making a difference in the lives. I mean, look at our mission. The equity. Girls and women, and we really do matter. You folks here are examples of how you matter and what we do. I have been branch president. I have been the fund director for a number of branches, and I enjoy that role a lot. The AAUW fund, which is what we are and what we're doing here, is the only unrestricted funds that go to our AUW national, and so that's kind of important. So really like working with the book clubs. Most of them have book clubs. There's all women like to eat, so there's usually some type of a lunch, out to lunch club, but mostly everybody's in the various branches belong to making it matter. I think that's it, and that's what we're doing through you folks, and so we're happy to volunteer and put our hands together, put our minds and hearts together, and give you a shot. Plus, we think this is a fantastic learning experience. Somewhere along the way, be sure to get this on your resume, because it's probably not part of your classwork. I'd like to know is like, I guess we can do it two ways. How many are familiar with doing Zoom videos, making your own?
So you could use your digital hand and just raise your hand and let us know. And your hand is probably under, well, it depends on what piece you're using. Probably under reactions. Okay, so just,
I see some thumbs up.
okay.
Let's do it the other way. How many are not familiar with doing Zoom?
Okay. So how many are terrified that you have to do this?
Nah, they got this.
So what I would like to hear from you, and you don't have to do it today, this is a little bit of a public forum. If you are concerned about it and you're concerned about your ability to get it done, please contact me. This is what I do sort of for a living, in terms of helping with organizing this kind of stuff. So I'm more than happy to give you pointers or help you with the technology. Karen is probably the person to talk to about content. So if you have questions about what you should include in your presentation, but if you're, concerned about pulling your video together, or you want somebody to look at your presentation, just contact me and I'd be happy to help you with that.
And I would encourage all of you to not be the proverbial student and wait till the night before it's due on these. There's quite a bit of work to edit these and pull this together. So please get on them. We're anxious to hear from you, see what you're doing.
So we're going to send you at the end of this session, or it might be tomorrow, a list of all the links and everything in the presentation that we used tonight so that you have it all in one place. And you'll know your due date is October 17th. You're going to do a video, where to put it, a presentation, where to put it, and where to send your headshot. And I think that'll get us going. Anybody have any last questions? Okay, we will also include the recording. I'm going to turn the recording off so I don't have to cut so much off of it.